Okay, so to begin, below this video, you're going to click on the link that says click below to access today's practice activity. And then you're also going to need one more tab open. Once this loads, click join. Okay. Before we get into this, let's open up one more tab. So you should be following along with this video. So go ahead and open up the tab that says click below to access the Desmos page that Ms. Cattell uses in the video. And you're going to be taken to this Desmos page, which should look familiar if you've already done the algebra lesson. This is the same Desmos page that Ms. Murphy uses in her video. So, what are we doing? What is the purpose of all this? Throughout the rest of your time in math, and especially in this unit, it's going to be really useful for you to be able to recognize what we call parent functions. So you think of them as a mom function or a dad function. These functions are the parents, and then we'll see later on in the unit, they're going to give birth to lots of little baby functions, and you'll see exactly how that works. But these are like the original, the OG functions that we'll need to be able to recognize before we can get into like more complex things later in the unit. So that is the purpose of this little activity. And it's a little bit overwhelming because it's a card sort where we're sorting the graph to match the equation, to match the name, or the words of the function. And there's a lot. There's going to be 10 groups in total. That's why I'm making this video to walk you through how I would get started in sorting these cards. So you guys have done lots of card sorts in person with the paper, but this is our first time doing one online. So let's start off. For me, I'm just drawn first to the words. So let's start looking at this one that says quadratic function. What graph would match with the words quadratic function? Well, I could Google it, but what's going to be easier than Googling it is going straight over to the other document that I had you open up. And, oh wow, look, cool. I have a quadratic function. What does that look like? To find out, I'm going to click this button here in order to make it show up on my graph. So that is what it looks like. It looks like a smiley face or a U, quadratic function. It also has an equation here, which will be helpful. And the equation for a quadratic function is y equals x squared. So anytime we take an input, we take an x and we square it, that is going to end up looking, and we graph that, it's going to end up looking like a smiley face or a U. So let's go back to the activity. By the way, I'll be able to see since I'm the teacher on this activity, I'll be able to see your progress. So I can give you feedback once you're done with this activity as well. This is practice. That's not like we don't have to be perfect yet. This is probably the first time you're doing an activity like this. So no pressure, but I do want you to try and end up with 10 groups. It'll be really good practice for later in the unit as well. So I'm looking for that smiley face and I can see it, it's hidden. All I'm going to do is once I put it, make them touch, that's sorted. So then I can even minimize it so it doesn't get in the way of my other things. But I'm also actually going to put the equation in there too because I see it right here. It's y equals x squared. And again, I just literally am taking the information directly from Miss Murphy's Desmos page. Okay, so I'm going to match that. I have my 3 cards. I have the quadratic function, I have the equation that it matches, and I have the graph that it matches. And then now I can minimize that, which is helpful because I have less visual information to overwhelm me. Okay, linear function, that sounds easy. I'll do that next. So a linear function, let's go back just to be consistent. I'm going to deselect that so it's no longer graphed. A linear function is a line, the fancy way to say a line. So I'm going to match it with a straight line, and the equation of a straight line with a slope of 1 that goes through the origin, or like the parent function, the original, most simple, most basic version of a line. The equation is y equals x. Okay, so I have my line. Oh, so satisfying. Made that match. This is fun. And then I have my equation y equals x. Those are my 3 cards. Boop. Okay, so at this point in the video, if you haven't already, I would recommend pause the video and try to do the rest on your own. I'm going to go through and do some more, so you can just keep watching and follow along with me if you'd like. But if you're feeling confident and you're like, oh, this is easy, I'm just flipping back and forth between the 2 tabs and matching, please don't. Yeah, you don't have to follow along with the video. You can do it on your own. And then when you're done, you're going to submit the activity to me on Desmos so I can give you feedback. Okay, so I'm going to keep going for those of you who are still watching. Let's go next. I'm going to start with the word again, absolute value function. What is an absolute value function? Oh, it is those weird absolute value lines, and it ends up with the V shape. So I'm going to go and find what graph looks like a V shape. Here it is. I'm going to match it up with the absolute value function, and then I'm going to match that with that equation with like the 2 absolute value lines. Let's see, maybe hidden somewhere back here. That's not it. That is not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Oops, I accidentally matched those. I didn't mean to. Well, this is awkward. Where is it? I'm just going to put these together for now so I can clear my space. I didn't put it in there, I didn't put it in there. Did I accidentally match it in here? Nope, it's not in there. Well, hopefully you can see it on yours. I can't seem to find the absolute value function. There's my linear. There's my quadratic. Okay, well, it's hidden somewhere. Hopefully you can find it on yours, but if I could find it, I would match it with a card that looked like this. Y equals the absolute value of x. Okay, let's do some of the harder ones together. Oh! That's embarrassing. So for some reason, I'm glad I'm going over this one. So for some reason in this activity, instead of using the lines to represent absolute value, they're using the word abs, short for absolute value. So if you see it written like this, abs, it means the same thing as the 2 lines. Okay, that was frustrating. Let's do some of the harder ones. So I think this one looks kind of hard. The y equals 1/2 to the power of x. And hopefully this one looks pretty familiar because we just had a whole unit on this type of function. Whenever we have an exponent, that's a variable. So this would be our growth factor, and this would be our exponent. It's going to be called an exponential function. Because this 1/2 is less than 1, it's actually a decay function. So this is going to match with exponential decay because, again, the number inside the parentheses, the either growth or decay factor, is less than 1. So we call it a decay function. And exponential decay is going to look like this. So from left to right, it's decaying or going down, decreasing from left to right. Just like you read a sentence from left to right, you also read a graph from left to right. Perfect. Okay, and then let's do one more together. Let's do this one. So again, we have a variable as the exponent, so it's going to be an exponential function. But this time the growth factor is not less than 1, it's greater than 1. So we're going to call that, you guessed it, an exponential growth function. And the graph that's going to match with looks like this. It from left to right, it increases or grows. Therefore, it's an exponential growth function. Okay, the rest of these you should be able to solve or to match on your own using the other tab that you have open. All the words and the names of the parent function will be in this tab that you can use to help you along. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and please, the last tab of this lesson is a place to sign up for office hours. So if you're struggling with this activity, I'm happy to hop on text with you or FaceTime or any other way I can help you get through this activity so you'll be like really well set up for the rest of the unit. Okay, have a wonderful day.